Good afternoon, or evening, or morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are about 12 hours away from the start of the Freestyle Chess Grand Slam Tour finale. When this comes out, they're in Cape Town, South Africa. They're in my home country. I can't be there live to go see them, although we will talk about it because there have been some questions about this freestyle event. You can find it on the community page. I did put a post out along with their trailer, which might be linked at the end of this video on YouTube, not on Spotify, I'm sorry guys, or on your podcast platforms. But we are going to talk about it. We're going to preview it, and there's only one way to do that. So for those on YouTube, I am now changing the screen, and we're going to be looking at it. The Cape Town Freestyle Chess Grand Slam Tour, the finale from December 8th until December 11th. This is the fifth or fourth event, depending on which you look. We had Germany, France, the United States of America, and now South Africa. There was, of course, a cancelled event in India, and we did speak about that at the time. You can find it in the Freestyle Chess playlist on the channel. $750,000 prize pool, round robin and knockout, Freestyle Chess. The Freestyle Chess Grand Slam South Africa is the last event of the multi-million-dollar Freestyle Chess Grand Slam Tour and determines this year's freestyle champion. There are 8 players, while I cough. These are the top 8 players from the current leaderboard in terms of points. So it is, of course, Magnus Carlsen, Fabiano Caruana, Vincent Keymer, Arjun Erigaisi, Levon Aronian, Hans Niemann, Parham Maghsoodloo, and Javokhir Sindarov, fresh off qualifying for the candidates. Magnus Carlsen could also qualify for the candidates, but won't. And Fabiano Caruana qualified for the candidates. Vincent Keymer, Arjun Erigaisi, Levon Aronian, Hans Niemann, Parham Maghsoodloo, all looking to end the year on a high. The schedule and format, they've used it in several events so far. There is a group stage on December 8th. Round robin, players play their 2 games against each other, I believe. It's rapid format 10 plus 5. The top 3 players then pick their opponents in order. So whoever finishes first after the round robin is seeded first and gets to pick their quarterfinal opponent. All 8 players will proceed to the quarterfinals, where they will play 2 matches against each other of 30 plus 15. The losing players are not eliminated, but continue to play matches to determine the 5th through 8th standings. They can't win, but they still play on. And then we get the semi-finals, which will be also 30 plus 15, some fast classical, some long rapid games. The winners of the semi-finals, of course, advance to the final, which will also be 30 plus 15 first through 4th place matches, and 10 plus 5 for 5th to 8th. And the game, again, consisting of 2 matches. I think the round robin might only be 1 game. The top 3 players standings determine their seeding. Okay, well done. The prize pool, of course, for the 8 players that are coming, first place gets $200,000, and then it goes down until last place, who gets $15,000. The top 3 players at the end of the tour, of course, first is called the Freestyle Chess World Champion or whatever. We've discussed it at the start of the year when all of the madness was going on. They receive an additional $100,000. It will be Magnus Carlsen. Second place, $50,000, and third place, $25,000 for a place pool of $175,000 to go with the $575,000 combined to make it $750,000 being given out this week in Cape Town, South Africa. Now let's look at the players once again. Magnus Carlsen, Fabiano Caruana, Vincent Keymer, Arjun Erigaisi, Levon Aronian, Hans Niemann, Parham Maghsoodloo, and Javokhir Sindarov. Now, if we're looking at the event just as a whole, like in general, without talking about the tour, Magnus Carlsen is favored for every event that he plays. Sorry, just give me a moment. Magnus Carlsen is favored for every event he plays. He is without the normal competition in Hikaru Nakamura. He, of course, has Fabiano Caruana there with him. Vincent Keymer has performed very well, won the event in Germany. Levon Aronian won the event in Las Vegas. Hans Niemann finished second there. Sindarov has shown his abilities. All 8 players are the top of the standings. But let's talk about the standings, because that is whoever wins this, it might be pointless because the top 8 in this order are Magnus Carlsen, Fabiano Caruana, Hikaru Nakamura. He did qualify. Sorry if I didn't make that clear. He did qualify. He just can't make it to the final championship game. He's in 3rd place. Magnus Carlsen has got 80 points, tour points. Fabiano Caruana has got 49. For those of you who can't do maths, 31 points. Hikaru Nakamura's got 40. Magnus Carlsen's got double what Hikaru's got. Then it's Vincent Keymer on 39, Levon Aronian on 27, Arjun Erigaisi on 24, Hans Niemann on 18, Parham Maghsoodloo on 18. And then there's Andrei Sapenko and Frederick Svane tied for 9th place. Sindarov was 12th overall. Nurjibek Abdusatorov was also above him, so I don't know if some of those players could make it or they invited Sindarov as a wild card. So the tour is all but one. It will be Magnus Carlsen. The question will be, how well do Fabiano Caruana and Vincent Keymer do in terms of finishing in that 2nd and 3rd place categories? Levon Aronian, with a win, could throw his name in and give it a shout, but it will be incredibly difficult. As I go, let me just check. I want to see if I can find where the points available for finishing 1st and so forth. Okay, so it's showing me the players. Duolingo has also been named as the official partner for this event, which is interesting. Where is the thing? Why can't I find it? Anyway, Magnus Carlsen will win the tour. He will be the freestyle chess world champion. The most interesting thing I think we'll see, obviously, who wins the event, but also where do Fabiano Caruana and Vincent Keymer and Levon Aronian finish to determine that 2nd and 3rd place in the tour. Sorry as I stutter. But what we do need to talk about now, as I'm going to pull it up on my phone, for those of you listening on podcast, you won't notice. For those of you watching on YouTube, I apologize for not looking directly at the camera and looking right into your souls. As I'm going to pull it up now, we need to talk about this event just in terms of spectator value. Now, there are no spectators at the playing venue. Which is a little bit sad in terms of the people who may have gone down to view it. Thankfully, there are actually quite a few chess tournaments happening at this time in South Africa. There was the university stuff that's just come to finish. There's inter-regions going on. It's being hosted in Grootbos. For the first time in history, the freestyle chess is landing in Africa as a whole. It's landing in South Africa. The 8 players are going there. Now, they have done a whole bunch of events leading up to this. There's been a simul with Levon and Magnus, and I think someone else was there. Fabiano Caruana and Hans Niemann and some of the other players have been having a great time in pools, doing underwater chess and holding breath competitions and so on and so forth. You know, there's been diving chess, underwater chess exhibition. It's been crazy. But what we need to talk about is the public viewing. It is free, but they're not allowed in the playing venue. Cape Town becomes the official fan zone for the finals. There's a dedicated public viewing venue, which has been announced or will be announced, and will host stuff every day from 12:30 p.m., so half an hour generally before the normal start times, and they will feature the full live broadcast from Grootbos. And there's 2 parallel streams. There's the pro stream and there's the community stream. But there is no public access to Grootbos, the diving chess at the Silo Hotel. All the stuff happens at this venue that they've set about, which is interesting. I don't know how I feel about it because I was considering traveling down to Cape Town. Financially, I couldn't make it work this year. But if I'd flown all the way there to see the players, I might be disappointed that I can't be in the venue. I know that's traditionally how chess works. It is always difficult to get spectators in and around venues. But it's worked before, so this being the finale, I think it's an appropriate point in the podcast and in the preview to just ask you the question. We might do another thing on this. Has the hype for this tour died? I bookmarked this, because this was always going to be the final event. They were meant to have one more in India. Is it still as hyped and as looked forward to this event as the first one in Germany. It was a huge success. Do they need a tour, or should it just be 1 or 2 events? Do they need 4 or 5 or 6 events? Because there was the big open that Magnus won. He went 9 out of 9, the Grenke, which was also in Germany, to go along with Vassenheis. They were in Paris, they were in Las Vegas, they were meant to be, I think, in New Delhi, in India, and of course they're in Cape Town, South Africa. What do we think of this tour? I think freestyle chess is amazing, and what they're trying to do is very good. Maybe it was just this year it got distracted from, because there were lots of events in terms of for the candidates. There was the Grand Swiss, there was the World Cup, so maybe this gets a bit overshadowed. There's been Tata Steel, there's been Norway Chess, there's been talk of Gukesh, there's been a whole sorts of different things in the year in terms of chess. What happened with this tour and this event? I leave that with you, ladies and gentlemen. And now for YouTube, I think you can enjoy the hype trailer if I can get it to play. Otherwise, I'll see you for coverage of this wonderful event.
After 2 events in Germany, 1 in France, and 1 in the United States of America, the Freestyle Chess Grand Slam Tour arrives at its breathtaking conclusion at the edge of the African continent. Who will win the Freestyle Chess Grand Slam in South Africa, and who will be crowned champion of the season? Can one grandmaster keep up with Magnus Carlsen? South Africa is a land of wonder and contrast. Open and full of creative energy, it stretches from the cultural heart of Cape Town to vast national parks filled with wildlife, beauty, and adventure. The final stage of the Freestyle Chess Grand Slam Tour 2025 takes place at the Grootbos Private Nature Reserve, where strategy meets imagination and every move becomes a moment of art. No! Around the matches, players and fans can enjoy a variety of experiences where creativity and community come together, leading up to a unique and memorable event. See you in South Africa, and stay tuned.